Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
Government apologizes and expresses sincere regret for delaying the release of that Rubis fuel leak report. This as Rubis suggests that report is out of date, insisting water and air pose no threat. The Bahamas earned silver at the IAAF World Relays, and officials anticipating a not-so-active hurricane season. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NV12 starts right now. News tonight, the government has apologized and expressed sincere regret for delaying the release of a report detailing the impact of a fuel leak at the Rubis gas station on Robinson Road. During a press conference today, 4 cabinet ministers said while they regret taking so long to inform the public of what was going on in the Marathon area, the government has done what was necessary to remediate the problem. Kyle Joaquin reports.
The government today took another step in addressing the Rubis fuel spill ordeal. The Attorney General, on behalf of the government today, apologized to the residents of Marathon for taking so long to release the findings of that Black and Veatch report.
As a government, we understand we should have released the report sooner. For the failure to release it sooner, we express our sincere regret. We apologize.
The words several residents of Marathon have been waiting to hear. More than 2 weeks since the Black and Veatch report was released, Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson, on behalf of the government, is now apologizing for sitting on the findings for over a year. But days after that report was released last month, the AG didn't feel there was a delay at all.
I cannot say that there was a postponement of the release of the project, and I think it's premature to make any indication about whether or not, what steps the government will take in relation to the matter. Obviously, the most important thing is the thing that has been happening, and that is to address the situation of those who were directly impacted, and that was immediately addressed, and the indirect impact is an ongoing matter.
Now, she says, the release of the report shows there was no intent on the part of the government to conceal anything. The government announced Sunday that an independent body will be hired to investigate its handling of the matter. The government has come under heavy fire for failing to release the report even more than a year after receiving the findings from Black and Veatch. That report concluded that residents who lived near the gas station on Robinson Road and people who work in adjacent buildings were exposed to chemicals that could create health risks, one of them being benzene, known to cause cancer. In a press statement yesterday, the government said to mitigate such challenges in the future, government will within 15 days appoint an independent governance and machinery of government expert to make a public review of the handling of the report, identify specific errors leading to the delay, and recommend a new process for timely disclosure. According to the Black and Veatch report, a sample of homes tested in the vicinity of the Rubis spill in May 2013 revealed contamination concentrations of benzene hundreds of times and in some cases thousands of times higher than acceptable screening levels in the U.S. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Glenn Beneby today said that samples taken between March 2014 and 2015 shows that in affected areas the presence of benzene is at acceptable levels. Environment Minister Ken Dorset even went as far as to give this guarantee.
All contaminants in water and soil in the properties to which we have been given access have been eliminated. The Rubis spill is contained.
Dorset said the first step government took was to ensure that residents in the area were informed to no longer use their groundwater but to use city water instead. According to the government, only 5 households were directly affected by the spill. The chief medical officer says by the end of June, all blood tests, health screens, and consultations with the affected residents should be complete. But what differentiates those who were directly impacted from those indirectly impacted?
So those persons who are nearest to the spill have the chance of being more exposed than those who are distant away from it. But the fact of the matter is you test those persons that fall into the catchment area according to what you find.
During the press conference, officials spoke of the 5 homes they say were directly affected, but in the Black and Veatch report, it was revealed that those in nearby commercial buildings may have been exposed to harmful chemicals in the air and water as well. So we asked, what happens to them?
For those commercial buildings that did not allow the government or the remediation companies access, we have taken a position that in the matter of public interest, we will proceed with those remediation works.
Fitzgerald said over the weekend he met with residents of the 5 households directly affected. The government, after being ridiculed by Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins last week for not bringing forth more environmental legislation, now promises to table more in Parliament by the end of the year. Marathon residents have a town meeting planned for tonight to discuss possible legal action at Grace Community Church. Now, Marathon MP Jerome Fitzgerald says although he was not extended an invitation, he still has plans to attend tonight's town meeting. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, Rubis officials today had no comment on government's decision to withhold the Black and Veatch report, but they suggested that report is out of date as it only reflects data from 2013. And they insist indoor air and groundwater pose no threat. This according to Jorge Ramirez, principal engineer and vice president of Arcadis, the company contracted by Rubis to assist in cleanup efforts. Ramirez said today the final cleanup phase is underway and they will continue until the job is done.
First of all, Black and Veatch is a very reputable company. They have, there is a very good company globally, but the review report that they submitted in February 2014 that was based on reports from Arcadis or from Rubis and other sources, and they did not collect any additional information. They didn't collect any sampling. All of that was from 2013. Since then, 2014 and 2015, the remediation and the cleanup at the Robinson Road site continue.
Rubis said the leak has not only raised health and safety concerns among residents, but it has also generated many unsubstantiated reports in the media, as well as commentary on several other fronts. In the interests of allaying fears, Rubis today offered what it called the accurate account of the situation. A highlight of that account, the results of its indoor air and groundwater samplings.
Based on the results and the investigation that we have conducted, there is no threat to public health from groundwater or indoor air.
When asked, Ramirez explained the affected area is in fact contaminated, but that area is small, contained, and not expanding. It's limited to an approximate 600-foot radius, and residents in that area are presently not using the groundwater. He said 4 properties in total were affected by the spill, and the first time any neighbor complained, officials switched the residents' groundwater to municipal water.
The affected area has concentrations that are exceeding the regulatory limits, and some of and that area is under 4 properties. I think the important issue that we need to understand here is that the people underneath that affected area are not in contact with the water.
Ramirez said private well survey and monitoring showed no gasoline in wells beyond the immediate spill area. He said 50 private wells in the Marathon area were sampled and none had contamination exceeding standards set by U.S. environmental guidelines.
Even though the impacted area is under the properties, 4 properties, the neighbors or the people who have those wells are not in danger because they are not using the wells. The wells were condemned and they were turned into municipal water. So their water source is the municipal water.
As for indoor air, Ramirez said testing proved concentrations are either not detectable or too low to pose a significant increase in health risk. Rubis Managing Director Gordon Craig also spoke, stressing the spill is contained. He added Rubis has been in continuous contact with government on the issue, and several $1 million have been spent on cleanup efforts, which are now in the final stage.
This situation, as you are aware, has received much media attention over the past 2 weeks. Rubis, as a good corporate citizen, is fully focused on what is most important, remedying the situation as quickly as possible so as to protect the public health and the environment. This is our primary commitment. I can assure all concerned that once we learned of the leak on January 19, 2013, our company took immediate action. In the interest of the surrounding community and the general public, we acted quickly, decisively, and we spared no cost in our actions.
Consul General Randy Roll went back to work in Atlanta today following an investigation into his arrest and subsequent release from custody in Bimini. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced Roll returns to duty following a period of intensive review, reflection, and consultations. The statement read, "The matters arising that resulted in the return to Nassau have been thoroughly investigated and the appropriate authorities, both at home and abroad, were consulted. There are no outstanding issues with those authorities." During this time, a review of all the procedures generally of heads of missions and the standards of conduct expected of them were reviewed with all posts. In the circumstances, an unsolicited apology and expression of regret, together with a full understanding of the way forward, were received from the Consul General, and he is to return to duty. In other news, the family of a Costa Rican couple is pleading for information on their whereabouts nearly 2 months after first being reported missing. The couple was last seen in Grand Bahama. Family members say the pair was a part of a group trying to smuggle their way into the United States. Jasmine Brown has the story.
Last week, police in Grand Bahama reported 4 people missing, including a Grand Bahamian and 3 Costa Ricans. And now the family of 2 of those missing victims is desperately seeking answers. Missing persons posters were issued for 41-year-old Antonio Hensley McNeish of Freeport, Grand Bahama, 46-year-old Elisier Ruiz Urena of Costa Rica, 40-year-old Edith Alfaro Peraz of Costa Rica, and her husband, 42-year-old Rafael Arturo Garabanzo Cascanti of Costa Rica. Police in Grand Bahama say the group were all last seen on April 11th. Garabanzo's distraught family traveled to the Bahamas from the United States, desperately searching for the pair. His sister, Yavery Pagano, said the family had last communicated with the pair by WhatsApp.
They were communicating with the daughters. They were sending pictures. I guess they were in Port La Calle. They were sending pictures. We confirmed that because we went to Port La Calle and we saw the restaurants where they were eating and, some from the hotel, pictures. Basically, the communication was with the daughters.
According to their family, Garabanzo and Alfaro had lived in the U.S. previously and have 2 11-year-old twin daughters there. The couple lived in Lancaster, Pennsylvania from 2000 to 2005. In 2005, U.S. immigration officials ordered Garabanzo deported, and the whole family opted to return to Costa Rica with him.
That's when we came here, because we want answers. We were looking for answers. We have their daughters. They're still waiting for them. They don't know anything because I don't know what to tell them.
The family says numerous stories have circulated about the couple's fate, including a report from a man who claimed to be on a sinking boat with the couple. Luis Sanchez, another Costa Rican, says everyone aboard left from a sinking boat off the coast of the Bahamas. Sanchez was rescued by a vessel a few hours later and sent back to Costa Rica. Sanchez told the Costa Rican press that the boat started leaking and all passengers opted to jump into the water using plastic containers and other objects as flotation devices. He said he could see the other passengers in the water for a while, but soon lost sight of them. Garabanzo's brother-in-law, Vincent Pagano, says while the family is hoping for the best, they just want closure.
Well, there's a lot. There's fears that, that he may no longer be alive. They may no longer be alive. There's fears that they may be captured. Somebody may have them and, maybe detaining them. You know, there's fears that maybe they did get on a boat, maybe they did drown. You know, we really don't know.
If you have any information on their whereabouts of these persons, you're asked to contact the police in Grand Bahama at 350-3106-911-919 or contact your nearest police station. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.